cloud. He's practically tearing up from
The what now? I mean,
the position.
fire guy. May I?
A shudder of this.
I did. I should react.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
Sad the fascists were right. It's not nice. It's a
South.
A summer.
It was sent to us by our... You.
He's right. Almost no one remembers.
They wouldn't.
The time will come to win his trust, comrade. It is not now. You need to take care of the gun first. The lieutenant.
You were a glorified knight.
The word.
And what rank would that be? A bit. It's out of bullets.
Like an. He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound.
The future.
The present.
The present. To be afraid.
Marching. Forget about that for a moment. You need to address.
Hey, in Grad, everyone has. They named a fucking perfume after it. Talk to her. God's shithouse.
All around you, the air slowly circling. Keep their distance.
How did it go?
He waves. It was dear to him. His gaze, the rifle on the butt. You see,
No one's.
from ballistic.
It doesn't matter if it was the right time.
He's liking this. The old man. This looked very.
My name.
The commune.
From the island.
51 minus.
No. I was in a resurrection. 43 years and 10. It's
He nodded, but he
What have you...
hiding.
where the afternoon 2 police patrol of the officers.
Always. For her
Her who?
girl child. Always. The material.
What has he done?
Yes.
There is no flame. I was just 16. You could a second for reaction to take hold. May the 13th, 08, they come huddled on the...
A terrible shame.
No. Yeah, they'd all...
Some kind of great terror. Worse than you've ever seen.
The mass, and then that the bourgeois are not human. I had to. It's not an island. The Congen Coalition. Death blow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? Iblis. The Black...
Shaitan Ahura, the darkened one.
Now,
Now hold on there.
supplies.
How is your head?
I've been...
He does.
TRC.
I need...
You also have Druamine. There's no way he could
It's the little joy. There's nothing to... I don't even know. At least it's...
Are they not heartbroken?
It was hot.
There were
We commune and others at night.
in the city.
From bunkered. I don't want to.
He does not want to see light.
So you finally found it. I know.
So you've
Sleeping.
You feel the dots connect.
The
propaganda.
They stored a lot of art. I don't want...
He does not want to see light.
I do. They're good. Plenty of...
The old man looks across the water at the city, the ruin.
No. I am not trained in it.
The old
His job.
Scientific...
awakened. He was like a cleric.
No.
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
You're in...
Detective. We have
The old man spits into the fire pit.
You're with the RCM. The coalition appointed mob that inform... You're the... Take me to...
A spray of Rene, the royalist on the...
Only the arm...
Is that
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
You're insane. Radio shows, speed racing, sporting. There's nothing serious. I've used...
Here we...
killing?
It's a gun. I've used...
Interesting.
There isn't...
So he's... This is it. This is the great... The salute. Go in... No, don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you.
What did I just...
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
That...
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again.
Did you?
I am...
A drop of exhaust. The scent. Something about the tracks. Suddenly,
Yes.
You had direct. You've been here.
I'm ready.
he's just one thing remains unclear. The rifle. He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it.
Because
Almost. He almost burst out there. The lieutenant. Not this, he seems to say. Anything but this.
Nate, your
Yeah, but still. Somehow you knew it was a communist. No. Perhaps the vision was it? Suppose the inland sea is you are. Soon it will.
standing there.
Wait, here it comes. There were nowhere. Wait, don't forget the foot. You got it. Remember?
Damn.
He seen
So many this year, too. They
south.
You must get her.
I may.
He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
My ear with
There is almost, but you need one more.
Show me the
fuck.
The maker. These are not.
the size fits, but not the soul.
Sire,
Racking.
the lieutenant, the print, the old. You've almost got him. Just the last little put.
Not a lot.
It's a. You look.
Damn, he would have. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? 4 point. Good. This feels.
Like a.
You know who he was. A coalition beating us. Got you.
This is it. Shot him.
No.
The lieutenant. Hush. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
I did
There.
nothing. And
Mr. Dra.
yes,
And you were looking.
The old.
Why?
because
The mode. You can cope.
I don't understand.
I'm always looking.
Are you?
Helps.
And if you then you.
Yeah.
He will. You got him, go. Start with when he first saw him.
3
Joyce. He means Joyce.
wrinkled up whore. Black. So don't.
An anger.
They moved. I've seen barely. I could see they've returned now. Them. Jealous. And that.
This man and to punish her.
She.
You stare at them too. See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings.
You're delusional. The world is insane. Since
Past the.
I.
And beautiful.
How could you?
Her
In the free.
Did you keep?
No.
This also a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name.
You didn't say Clausia in there.
A strange confusion comes over him from.
It was something. I could.
You could tell.
She had.
He's the bruises.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
It quickly comes to you.
Oh, yes.
Everything in here.
Did you make that?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too.
Like that, too? Yes. I've been. Yes. You took.
Those two took you here. One.
How did you get? You had to.
I got that open a long time ago. There.
The cold.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian. No, I don't. Yeah,
It's as if something put the
what did,
a brief flash of terror.
maybe,
A sudden
maybe.
in the one more down. The lieutenant. That's it.
Where is she? That Clausier. I haven't gone. She'd look.
Midtown. Across on the smaller. There. He's there. Special as the man. Good luck, Harry.
We could get.
Who knows? You could enough. Take him in.
A tragic
A strange, the familiar put of
Pacific because of the pump. Yes. Not since the intense. Like the worst of the worst. Every morning he's there. That's all the rich. We did.
the disco. There was something. Ask about that.
Horse. Syphilis is a disease. The bacteria.
That is...
And he's still... What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know what? That's right. Some art is a...
Wait, the bullet... It had to be.
I did.
Yes, shameful.
The fat union man. Another...
Disappointment.
That
Edgar. He's been sweet-talked by...
You can't...
The Clares would...
Of course. Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything.
I haven't...
How did he...
He didn't step. I was right about one of those. 20...
That's around the time.
Edgar never... I haven't...
How did he...
He didn't just step right. I was right about one of...
They let him be here.
You know...
Again?
Tried to...
Okay, there is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost. The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. He
that board and...
Bordering on sentimentality, it dripped.
She was called in.
No.
Did she?
No, she couldn't.
Here it is, the truth.
Because she...
Just say no.
Because the cow... She was gone heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt. Someplace like that. Where someone shot her.
Another.
Nothing.
Edgar didn't... If you were, we would...
A degenerate worker state. I saw it happen. Everyone is a blobber in this world.
The same. There is plenty here to work with once he's in...
Every royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. I remember that.
There doesn't seem to be a single person.
Fat.
He whispers with such predatory...
Not yet.
A treat.
He is better.
Hearing it may destabilize.
No. I waited.
I'm sorry.
They're all...
If he really wanted to kill...
And I blew them all. All human beings. Fuck you. You think...
He's not okay.
Glad we talked about what?
His lip curled.
Glad we talked about what? Pain.
The old man stares despondently at the logs. It's like he... What strikes you? Indeed, it's a You've seen... Is this some kind of substance damage?
No.
You said you...
I take them.
Are you sure? It's not a downer. Rather...
Like some kind of decadent... No,
There is... Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something... The old man stares
What? But you said...
The wind...
Your wayfarer... Do you...
But... No.
He sweat. Pupils...
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now onto the boat.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper. Stalks rubbing something completely different. It sounds like a bow. Very slow.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about? Is this...
Your skin crawls. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
What are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you, with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you, and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence. Its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful. Yes?
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Take long, deep breaths. Slow down your pulse. Don't move yet, and when you do, be light as a feather. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss. Like a realtor, the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Ch, ch, ch. Be afraid. You smell wrong. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's smelling you. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets.
Maybe it is real, the pheromone.
About now, he is ready to believe in anything. The insect's head is crowned with reed-like scales, the shape of seed heads. They rustle as the air moves, breathing you in. Your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze. The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Suddenly, there is silence. No, stop. Be afraid. The invertebrate comes back to life, stridulating. Sets of complex eyes follow you, moving in tandem on either side of the insect's small head. No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its the faintest smell like you've never felt before, like burnt roses.
Careful, it may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt carrot, letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you. The sweat on your arms feels cold as ice.
I got it.
For all time. The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, but the sensation is electrifying, resounding through your body. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen. It tastes like sugar, very faint. odorless, mostly comprised of water. The limb before you is incredibly light, like a warning. A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like the creature is awakening. Some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think. Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the
I exist. Tell me what it's like for you. Fire? Where? I do not have fire inside me. In me, there is not even blood, but lymph, like sap from a wine palm. Now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist. Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never burn. Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you, with all of creation reflected in your forebrain, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you. That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on. And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
In honor of your shit, Lieutenant Ifreter, which you kept together in the face of total unrelenting terror, day after day, second by second. Detective arriving on the scene.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect? He's in a bad state, deteriorating fast now. He thinks I am very slowly, and only because he won't go away. It is meant to keep them from noticing me, to interfere with the pictures in their heads. But he has looked at me so am I. Yes, no one detected me for such a long, long time. For thousands of years, no one believed I exist. Almost no one. Until you came, detective, dripping of blood that smells like strawberries, across the calm sea, the first in 1,000. No, you are awake. I am real. Light is forming me. Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily. I think we should eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Or read. Yum yum.
Wait, so...
Yes, they don't mind. Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident. I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulandia Isoma. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as...
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions until I was accidentally discovered. Yes, I do not have a Stardew display, so I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry. It is only destructive over long periods of time.
The deserter. He's been here for a long time.
No. You are the miracle. The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively medium life form, while you are extreme, all-engulfing madness. A volatile simian, the Pale too, came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all. It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the... You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out. We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first...
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget? No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation. So, it is already happening. One day, one of you will close your eyes and sign, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
It doesn't look like that, no. You're just staring at it. Okay. Is it somehow related to the case? I think you should back away from the unstudied species now.
No, the moral, the Pale too, came with you. It is a nervous shadow. You're a violent. We suspect...
Instead of air, you exhale.
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. So it is already happening. Soon, one of you... No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Do it for the working class. You cannot lie to me. Behind you, it smells of fires. So awfully far you were prepared to go in her presence. And she was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbin there.
It's gone. Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only... I've never seen anything like that in my life. Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
What now?
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic state.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown. It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few cops are this futuristic.
Yes? Okay, let's talk about it. You stole the boots. Congratulations. That must have taken an enormous concerted effort, considerable ingenuity and timing. Now, I'm going to report you and you are going to go to jail.
Lie. Lie to get out of it.
Sure. Anyway, did you want something? Related to police work?
I don't care about your insane theft, the lieutenant thinks, and looks away from the boots. Just know, if anyone asks me, I will snitch on you.
What is it? What do you want from me?
Something is very wrong with him now.
See?
Mr. Doras?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over, and like an addict of some terrible substance. A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid. Old age and shock. Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the Phasmid, the combined stress.
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke. Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here.
No response.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it. Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse. He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse. It does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall. Like a drug? His pupils appear to be dilated. They still are. You mean pheromonal? The scope, knowing of her bruises, his disposition toward Miss Orania? I see what you mean. You should be more careful, Detective. Are you sure it wasn't having an effect on you? A valid hunch. Long-term exposure to something like that could be neurodegenerative. Also, please be careful when approaching a known species in the future, Detective. He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it. He stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should. Nothing. Just dull staring. The last embers have gone out. The war is over.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dross could have picked it up. Or the Phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
I lost...
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a Magpie Phasmid. This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor being. The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.